Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, concerned that the federal court ruling could pave the way for his state to become a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants seeking abortions paid for mostly by taxpayers. Good to have you with us, General.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to ask you something about this case because it went through very quickly a number of different levels. It went to the D.C. Circuit, which is just below for the Supreme Court for people who don't know the structure of the courts. When the government lost there's a question about why they didn't immediately file with the Supreme Court to stop this. And I've heard things off the record and around this case saying that essentially there may have been some understanding that there was going to be some time for the government to do that. But instead, this young woman was taken very early in the morning. She had her abortion, which she said all along is what she wanted. Those were her wishes. But there is some angst within the pro-life community that the government did not file with the Supreme Court right away.
First of all, congratulations on your new show. It's
Thank
great
you.
to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I mean, I have some concerns as well, but I also wonder if there wasn't some agreement, I don't know this to be true, but whether there was some agreement where the DOJ was waiting and there was an agreement that there would be no abortion while they appealed, and then the abortion was done and obviously made the appeal moot. So I don't know that to be true, but if that is true, I hope that they ask for sanctions.
Well, I've heard rumblings of that, but certainly not confirmed on our end either. I want to read a little bit of the D.C. Circuit's ruling in the young woman's favor, allowing her to go forward with the abortion. Said the government, to its credit, has never argued or even suggested that this plaintiff's status as an unaccompanied minor who entered the United States without documentation reduces or eliminates her constitutional rights to an abortion in compliance with state law requirements. Now, that's the thing that these pro-life groups were worried about, that this would be Roe 2.0. But it sounds like even during these arguments, the federal government, didn't say she doesn't have a constitutional right. So has that been ceded? Is that now the case?
No, I think it narrowed the holding to this particular case. I believe that DOJ should have made that argument. We made that argument in our amicus brief. It's clear to me that the Constitution does not allow for an abortion to somebody that comes here illegally and doesn't have some kind of substantial tie or connection to our country. That was never argued. It was something we argued. And if you look at the dissent, they picked up on our argument under dissent. I think that's something that hopefully in the future the DOJ will come back and argue.
Well, there's a class action lawsuit now that the ACLU, this broke off, is my understanding from that, but they do have a broader, wider case, and that they want to have established in court that any woman who is here illegally and is a minor, so, you know, you could argue a child, right, should be able to have access to an abortion. And again, they talk about that being paid for separately by someone else, but not by taxpayer dollars. What are your concerns about that case?
I have a lot of concerns. First of all, that obviously is not the law now. Second of all, we know that ultimately what they'll push for is taxpayer-funded abortions. Third, once you open this up, what constitutional rights do illegals have with other facts and other circumstances? So it would be a pretty broad change in our constitutional foundation and what our founders thought of when they put this together.
One of the lower court judges in hearing this case put it this way. She said the choice this young woman is left with is essentially to go back to her country, where I understand is a country that doesn't allow abortions, and into a situation that some had alleged was abusive. So either go back to that or stay here in the U.S. and carry this child to term. And the judge said essentially that can't be the choice.
Well, it is a choice because it's the law. It's the law that she does not have a constitutional right to an abortion. There's nothing in our history, nothing in our past judicial holdings that have allowed for that all the way up to the Supreme Court. And so, again, if we open that door, I think we've opened the door for anybody to come here, get arrested, and suddenly we're going to be responsible for providing abortions and paying for it.